Hey folks, welcome to Pro Trader Strategy. My name is Eric Wilkinson and this is Spotting the Trade. Sorry, it's been a while since I've been on here, folks, and I kind of just fell off the face of the earth and didn't really have a way to communicate with everybody. Why did I fall off the earth? Well, I ended up getting COVID right after my last shoot when we did that shoot out in front of the new development there. Anyway, so coming back from it right now, still can't really hear out of this ear right now. It's a little bit funky, but I wanted to talk to you guys because it is heading into the new year. I wanted to wish everybody a happy new year and try and get through this a little bit. Just talk about what the markets have been doing lately as I was on a bit of a rough go at it there. Anyway, I just wanted to talk about some economic data. It looks like the economy is doing pretty good right now, so not really a whole lot to talk about there. We did get a lot of window dressing going on, folks, in the markets here. I don't know if the bottom's really out of this market, but I feel like the market really got lifted up on this low volume and we're getting some window dressing going on heading into the new year. Got a lot of stories over the course of the years talking about how folks try to push markets in their favor and or even against themselves so that they can write down a little bit heading into the new year. Anyway, they call it painting the tape. So I don't know if we really have that going on here in crude oil. It's just a lack of real volume. We did get that nice move higher here in crude oil, but I don't really expect us to be able to sustain an $80 barrel. I've been talking about that for quite some time, even throughout 2021. I don't really see the economy strong enough to sustain an $80 a barrel crude oil right now. I don't think that we're going to see that going into the new year. If we're going to talk about what's going on in the new year, now what we've been talking about mostly, I'm an interest rate guy for the most part, and I really watch that because that's really the overarching leading indicator as to what's going on with the economy. So I really like to do that. We can see some markets like the equities. As a matter of fact, you guys probably don't even want to see my face. Let me try and pull up some charts here and we'll go to there and add to the stream. Let's do that. So crude oil here, talking about that moving. Folks, if you guys want to comment, throw it over there. Anything you want to talk about going into the new year, I'm happy to throw something over there and we'll look at it in the markets here because I'm going to talk about what we've talked about in the past, how the markets are looking forward going into 2022. All right. So crude oil, I think that we're going to see crude oil really start to migrate back down into the 70s, folks, right heading into this new year. Yeah, the economy's starting to gain a little traction, but I think that right now it's all eyes on what the Fed is going to do with interest rates. I think we're ready to start tapering here. They haven't really started tapering, folks. They maybe talked about it, which I've said into the new year is what we're going to start seeing here in the first quarter, this taper start to happen and then allow those interest rates to migrate higher. Now, if those interest rates start migrating higher, folks, as a trader, you need to make sure that that part of your portfolio is being hedged. And I just recently did a couple of webinars on heading into 2022, what we need to look forward to. That is these bond type of hedges, because we don't usually trade around that. And if you have a 401k or something like that out there, usually what's happening there, folks, is you take your age, and your age is really the percent of what your overall portfolio should be in interest rates or bonds. Okay. So that part of the portfolio is going to really start suffering as the price of the bonds starts going down, because that's reflective of your portfolio value, folks. So we need to start getting ahead of that, selling some options against those. And I talk about that in those videos. So please check that out. So heading into 2022, I suggest anybody to really start looking at interest rates and how it's going to affect your portfolio, because that's the thing that we just kind of forget about over there, right? We think it's all hunky dory, but it is determined by price over there. So make sure you're keeping an eye on that. Now, got a little ahead of myself on that with crude oil up a little bit higher, bumping up against that Fibonacci. I think we're going to start seeing it kind of taper back down. Now, we're talking about inflation. Inflation is going to be driver of gold. Now, do I think that we're going to really see 2000? Yeah, I'd say 2000 is more likely than 1300 here in gold going into 2022. Now, I think that we've been talking about this 1900 dollar a troy ounce here in gold, and I think that that's still holding true. We can see that 1800 mark is where the point of control is. That's where the market's acceptance of value there. I do think that we could easily see that move a little bit higher and closer to the 1900 a troy ounce here in 2022. Right, and then Bitcoin. I'm expecting Bitcoin and the rest of these cryptocurrencies to actually do very well in 2022. And I'm continuing with my thesis that I think Ether is going to incrementally gain traction over Bitcoin as more and more people are transacting with Ether than with Bitcoin. Folks seem to buy Bitcoin and hold on to it forever, whereas the Ether has that transactional value. And I think that when we start seeing that, you'll start seeing a little bit more demand for it as well. Now, we've got the Dow Jones Industrial Average here coming off just a little bit. We had that window dressing that I've been talking about, that push higher back into all-time highs here for most of the indices here we're talking about. They're trying to drive higher. That makes your portfolio look really good. Something we're going to watch with the NASDAQ. I've got a couple of trend channels in here in case we start getting a little bit bearish. We could easily see some of these start trending and finding our support and resistance for those swing type trades that we've been doing webinars on. All right, we're about ready to finish those up. I wasn't able to do yesterday, so I'm sorry, folks. I just couldn't gather the energy coming off of this COVID thing. All right, so E-mini S&Ps, folks, like I said, it's just window dressing right now. We did get a nice push above these Fibonacci's all-time highs, but again, I don't know if the bottom is out of these markets. We could start really revisiting this 4,400, especially if we start seeing the Fed taper, that we could see that taper tantrum still happen here, folks, as the Fed's been talking about tapering for quite a while, or we've been hearing all of this. It's when the rubber meets the road is when we're going to really understand how far of a correction we're going to have. I don't think it's going to be that much, maybe close to between 5 and 10%. I wouldn't expect much more of a move over that, and it won't last very long, I wouldn't think. And just taking a look at the E-mini S&Ps here, you can see just nothing happening today. Everybody just kind of keeping an eye on it. The work's been done previous to this, and that was to drive those markets higher into the new all-time highs, which going forward, we're going to have to see how the taper really starts working this, but I don't think we're going to necessarily see a massive correction on any of that. All right, so we got through this, folks. I will be more diligent about making sure I get these things going, but I was, like I said, informing you of when I was sick is where I was trying to go with that, but sorry about that. Other than that, have a great 2022, folks. Listen, our trading and our mechanical approach to trading should not change just because we're going over into a new year. Yeah, you're closing up your books, you're settling it. It feels like you need to change your trading regimen going into the new year. If it's been working, stick with what's been working and fine tune it. We talk about that in these daily market commentaries and stuff like that. And I try and help you folks be a little bit more mechanical in those videos. So that's what we're trying to focus here on at Pro Trader Strategies. And if that is something that gave you a light bulb moment, please hit that like. And if you took something away, please let us know by commenting over there at the side. And finally, make sure you guys are subscribing with that little bell over there at the side. Look, so even this, like, you guys, when you have COVID, right, you can't go out. I broke my glasses and haven't been able to go to the store to get new glasses. So anyway, a lot of fun here with at my house. I can't get my hair cut, get my glasses broken. So I'm a bit of a train wreck. And here's the 2022, guys. Anyway, thanks for bearing with me. And finally, if you can't take that, take it easy.